I'm going to continue talking about narrative nonfiction, using your library systems to get a book, and just getting involved with reading as a lifelong practice on the side as you do work, as you do college, as you do all that sort of thing. And a big part of that is just being able to get involved with the books that grab you, so that it's easy for you to kind of read that material because it's so interesting or it's so well written. We're not talking about speed, by the way. We're not talking about reading more than someone else. We're just talking about your true development as a thinker, as a person of knowledge, as someone who should become a master of literacy, working with information and knowing how to remember things, how to get access to material that'll help you learn. And you do that bit by bit, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day, 4 days a week, 40 weeks a year, year after year. You do that for 20 years, you're going to be well read. And people are going to know it in the sense that you're going to be able to think creatively for solutions to problems at your career, at your own vision, the thing you're trying to start, your life. So it really is something that you need to do. And I feel like it can also help you right now by helping your confidence. The more that you are working with words, the more you are quietly, subtly, subliminally, what's the word, just kind of naturally getting better at managing them. And if you struggle with understanding which things are important, which are not, when you just get a stream of words coming at you, that reflects in how you take notes and how you're managing all this information that's coming at you at college. So the better you get at literacy, the better you're going to get at things like studying for your classes. All right. Now you might not see a huge leap. Don't get discouraged about it. Just believe that it will come, because it will. And it might not be in the space of this class. It might not be the semester, but if you stick with it, you will see the fruits. So what I want to talk to you now is a challenge I have for you. This is going to give you some bonus points. I don't know exactly how many. By the way, these assignments will have a sort of a description that I'll put online, or that I'll email to you, so that you can see the titles again, and so you can see just how many points this is worth, or that, or whatnot. But this part will be some bonus points, but it is tremendously important. Part of me wants to make it required in the sense that you'll lose points if you don't do it. But it's getting you to be involved with an audiobook. Again, I don't know where you're coming from, and I'm sort of assuming a low common denominator. So if you are already a reader and you love audiobooks, or you know how to do that and you benefited from that, just understand I don't know where you're coming from. So I'm sorry if I'm kind of talking down to you, or not, that's not the word. If I'm giving you information you already know, So, but audiobooks to me have been a game changer because of their level of productivity. If I have to carve out a time where I'm actually sitting somewhere reading a handheld book, I might be able to get 20, 30, 40 minutes in a day. However, if I'm in the habit of just downloading audiobooks from my library to my phone and hitting play when I have to wash the dishes, when I have to cook supper, when I drive, when I'm doing some sort of muscle memory thing like working in my garden or painting a piece of furniture, obviously I'm not going to listen to an audiobook if I'm trying to write an essay or something, but there are activities you do that are so habitual that you don't really have to engage mentally a lot with that activity. And that's prime time for a good audiobook, right? Because you just let it go and you let it play. Now, things come in and distract. I understand that. So when I listen to an audiobook, unless it's exceptional, I might just get 80% of it. There'll be areas that I'll move in and out in terms of attention. But no one's testing me on this. I'm not doing this for testing purposes as far as like what I'm listening to. And I'm I'm happy with 80% because that's 80% more that I know about that topic than I did before. So, of late I've been listening to some really thick audiobooks, and believe it or not, the thicker the book, often the better it is. But as far as writing skill of the author, but it's not always the case. But anyway, this book was on Lyndon Baines Johnson. It was called Master of the Senate by Richard Caro, one of America's best ever biographers. I might have gotten 60%, but the 60% I got was great. So you have to be able to say, okay, I'm not going to get 100%. That's rare. But listening to audiobooks is going to advance you in the realm of knowledge, in thinking, so forth. So it's definitely worth it. All right, it's definitely worth it. Now, again, the challenge is I don't want you to spend any money on this. So you're going to have to go through your library systems. Now, as you go to the home page of a library, go to the media services, go to books, and open the tabs and find the audiobook section. They've got to have it. I've yet to come across a public library system that doesn't have an audiobook section there. Things you can check out from its home page if you have a working card, if you have an account with that. And so these audiobooks will come in certain files, okay? Overdrive file, a Hoopla file, a Lucy file, or one of these files, a Libby file. To be able to read that file, you'll need an app on your phone that can open the file. You can usually find these apps for free at the iStore or Google Play or whatever. They're online as apps you just download. It's to everyone's advantage, publishers as well, that these are free apps. So a very decent app you can download for free. I recommend Overdrive, okay? But these things change over time, so as you listen to this, there might be another app that's actually having it stay in the sun. So, but I for the last 5 years, 6 years, I've been using Overdrive books and the Overdrive app. So you'll need to get that on your phone. You'll need to have a library card, and you'll need to link your phone to your library. So you go to your library's website, you log in through your phone, you store the information, there you have it. And then you can get the file on your phone, hook it up to your media, whatever, listen as you drive. All right, so, or as you do whatever you need to work out. You're going to go work out for an hour. Why don't you plug in your headphones or buy a little speaker you can carry around and just get it done. You know what I mean? Get it done. So I have the list of really good audiobooks. Now, the reason I have these books on the list is I know you can get them as an Overdrive file. So I'm going to go ahead and share the titles of these books. And they're on my computer. I didn't print it out for some reason. So I'm going to go ahead and click up to words, and I'm going to be reading the list. So as you watch me visually, you might see my eyes, going down there, and it's going to look a little stilted because I'm not going to be necessarily making eye contact with you. But let me just give you these titles. If you're listening, watching on your computer, and you want to open a new tab and Google some of these, go for it, right? I'll also provide these titles, in a file that I'll put online or I'll email to you. So let's see what they are. Okay. Now again, I picked these because the readers were good, the stories are great, and if you just give it a chance, I think you're going to get wrapped up in it. Okay, so this first book is called Geronimo. Now that's spelled Gironimo, because hero is the Latin term for, or the Italian term for a tour. Geronimo, writing the very terrible 1914 tour of Italy by Tim Moore. A funny book. But it talks about he wants to build an old bicycle. He wants to have an authentic experience. He wants to do the tour of Italy. And it scales well because you learn about culture and you learn about philosophy. There's something going on with the search for meaning here. Okay, great book. Funny. Okay, second book. A $500 house in Detroit. Now, 500 is $ and 500, so it's integers. A $500 house in Detroit. Rebuilding an abandoned home in an American city. What an inspiring book. I almost wanted to go buy one of those houses myself after I read that. I heard that. Great reader, great story. You'll learn a ton about urban ecology and just community, the fabric of a community, poverty, grassroots welfare system in terms of helping each other. All right, third book, Do No Harm. Stories of Life, Death, and Brain Surgery by Henry Marsh. Now, Marsh is a well-known neurosurgeon, but he writes like you won't believe. And I cried when I heard this, when I read this book. It was just so insightful and human, I guess is the word. You're going to learn about the brain, and you're going to learn about Marsh. I'll never forget that window into a doctor's heart. I tend to look at the medical system with a very jaundiced eye. But this one did something to remind me of the pain on the other side of the table. All right, book number 4. And again, you can just pick any one of these. Find the one that's available, because I think all will kind of get you involved in their story if you just give them the chance. Book number 4, Fulfillment. Winning and Losing in One-Click America. I'm not going to read the authors here. Well, I guess I should, right? Alec McGillis. Fulfillment, Winning and Losing in One-Click America. It looks at Amazon, but it also looks at our modern, the ways our consumer habits are evolving. And the stories you're going to hear. Oh, wow. The people involved, the families that were torn apart. The way Amazon is doing its business. And we love it, right? See, now this is the conundrum of this book. Amazon is so easy. And the shipping is incredibly fast. But what is it doing to the local businesses? What is it doing to the people in the warehouses? Now, this book is not on here, but I can't help linking it to another book called Nomad Land, which looks at the small van movement, the living in your van movement, and a good bit of that talks about the Amazonites, that trailer city that live by the Amazon warehouse because they can't afford housing. Anyway, this one is Fulfillment, Winning and Losing in One-Click America. Another good book is called Nomad Land. I forget the title for that. Okay, another book, The Taliban Shuffle, Strange Days in Afghanistan and Pakistan by Ken Barker. A great, humorous look into a woman journalist's experiences in the Middle East. I heard that one at least twice. It was so good. The Taliban Shuffle. Strange Days in Afghanistan and Pakistan by Ken Barker. All right, so here's another one by Dan Lyons. If you remember a previous video, I showed you his book Disrupted. He wrote a sequel to that is much more broad in its investigation of the modern work life. Now you're going to be running into this, okay? So if so far, none of these books just grabs you just initially by its title or whatnot, you might want to just jump in the swimming pool and swim with this one, because you'll learn something that could really affect you and help you as you try to do the whole job thing. Okay, it's called Lab Rats. Tech Gurus, Junk Science, and Management Fads. My Quest to Make Work Less Miserable by Dan Lyons. Again, that's Lab Rats, Tech Gurus, Junk Science, and Management Fads. My Quest to Make Work Less Miserable. There are colons here. There's punctuation. Like Geronimo has an exclamation mark after it. This one is technically Lab Rats, colon, Tech Gurus, comma, Junk Science, comma, and Management Fields, dash, My Quest to Make Work Less Miserable. But don't worry about that, because if you just Google the title, just spell it out, just how it sounds, you're going to find it. Great book. Now, I'm not a Cavaliers fan. But I did enjoy their miraculous season, and I like the Browns because I like to see them win. I'm really a Packers fan through and through, so I don't know if I should apologize about that or say hello to my fellow Packer fans out there, but I'm not a rabid Cleveland sports fan, but this book was something else. Again, I heard it at least twice, maybe 3 times. It's called Return of the King. LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the greatest comeback in NBA history. Oh, I still feel the chills because the way this book talked about James and what led to this season, his leadership skills, what it was like to lose before they won, the previous season. The coach, Lou, oh, what a story. I still remember him hiding money up in the visiting team's locker room to promise the Cleveland Cavaliers that they were going to come back to collect that money in 1 year, and they did. Last book, ironically, it's also a sports book, but again, I picked these books because they were so well read, so well written. I thought, look, if somebody hates reading, by golly, I'll just give up on that person if none of these books gets their attention. One of these books ought to work for them. So, League of Denial is the book. League of Denial, the NFL, Concussions, and the Battle for Truth. If you listen to that book, I would highly recommend that you watch the movie also with Will Smith starring as I forget the name of the scientist, but incredible story. League of Denial, the NFL, Concussions, and the Battle for Truth. All right, well, there you have it. Those were 8 audiobooks. I gave you 8 handheld books, and pick one of each now. The handheld book you'll be held accountable to in terms of points. This is sort of bonus, but would you do both? Because I'm just interested to see your response to actually listening to an audiobook. All right, thank you for watching.